Saleh, coach, whenever you're ready, sir.
Just real quick on the injuries.
Recording
Morgan,
in progress.
We'll get more on his knee. We feel good about where the ACL is. I think it's an MCL. Lost a couple other guys. You have the injuries real quick? Yeah, Crowder went out with a calf again, and Kyle Phillips. We'll get more. I'll get more detail on him probably tomorrow. But for all intents, I think he'll be fine. So,
Robert, now that it's over, I was wondering if you could just kind of put words what your first season as head coach was like.
It's been a roller coaster. It's been really cool to work with this group. You know, there's it's laying this foundation. It hasn't gone as smooth as you dream of when you get your first opportunity with regards to wins and going to the playoffs and making a run and doing all that stuff. But I think there's been a lot of things that we've done well, and I think there's a lot of players here who have opened up our eyes for the future. And there's a lot of things that we recognize in terms of where we've got to get to close the gap with our division. But I'm blessed in every way, so I have nothing to complain about.
Robert, realized tough conditions today and really good build of defense, but how do you make sense of 53 total yards?
You know what? Obviously, they're one of the best defenses in football. We just could not run the ball very well. It was tough sledding, and anytime we got something going, it's just their front was dominant, and we had to win and separate and do all that stuff. Clearly. We've got a long way to go if we want to close the gap with Buffalo. And New England and Miami for that matter.
You made the comment there about closing the gap there, Robert. I mean, what do you believe that you guys have to do specifically to close that gap with those other teams? Well,
there's a lot of different things, right? One are, the continued development of all our young guys, the development of our scheme to hone in and what we want to be with regards to our identity. And, so there's a whole collective deal going on. Obviously, we're going to add some pieces here with the draft and free agency or whatever, but it still comes down to just having a great offseason, not just with regards to players, but with regards to bringing in our schemes and developing our schemes, and obviously developing all these young guys who took the field today. So it's the gap is going to close, and it's going to close with time and development. But that's basically the best answer I can give you right there, bud.
Hold on 1 second. Marty, you have a question for Coach?
Coach, what was your message to the team after the game?
Say that one more time.
What was your message to the team?
The message to the team. So really the message to the team was that I am proud of this group, with all the adversity that we faced, with all the different things, losing. I mean, so many guys today. I mean, we're down to 3 receivers and for basically the whole second half. The amount of adversity that this group has faced for the continued fight, the continued development, the feel like we got so much better as the year went on. So it's I'm really proud of our group, but at the same time, the same thing I just told you guys, we've got to close this gap, and it's going to take everybody in the locker room. It's going to take all the coaches. It's going to take every decision that we make from now until the start of next season, whether it's scheme, player, doesn't matter. It's about closing this gap in the division and getting into a place where we're competitive every single game.
Robert,
all things considered,
with regard to Zach, how difficult and how do you measure? Obviously, the numbers offensively were terrible today, but as you stated, you're down to almost no receivers. The line, is what it is. I mean, how do you measure where he's at right now? I mean, what did you see today, and what do you see going forward?
I don't look at this result in terms of like whether it's a plus or a negative. I think his development over the course of the year has been spot on. I think the things that we've wanted him to get better at, he's gotten better at. I think he had a couple of plays today where he's showing progression and showing that what he's been doing hasn't been fluky. It just any quarterback, when they face the pressure that you're going to face, it's going to be tough sledding. And but just we could have ran the ball better. I'm going to look at that. Being able to run the ball would have been able to alleviate a lot of pressure. But when you're sitting and living in second 11, second and 12, that's hard sledding for anybody, any quarterback in this league. So I'm not discouraged at all just because of this performance from our offense. I think our offense has done a lot of great things, and obviously it ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw with this Buffalo defense. So
We'll take a couple more questions for Coach.
Robert, you guys fell down 10-0, but then you guys basically forced 8 punts on the next 9 Bills offensive possessions. So what kind of flipped for you guys?
You know what? It's just a matter of just hunkering down and just executing our jobs, winning some one-on-ones, making it harder for the quarterback to throw the ball in terms of getting tighter with our windows, and making the quarterback throw accurate in windy conditions. And we felt like because of the aggression with regards to the way we were covering today, it made him throw perfect. And in these conditions, it's hard to do that. And so really, really pumped up for the defense. Thought they played their absolute butts off. I know stats don't look like that, but if you just watch the tape, I mean, it was tough sledding. We were on the field for a little while on defense, and just couldn't get anything going on offense to give them a break. But really, really proud of the defense and the way it played today, and hopefully something that we can move forward, take with us in the 2022.
Robert, I know that you obviously haven't looked too much towards the future yet, but after today's loss, you guys officially have the number 4 pick in the NFL draft, and then you also have the number 10 selection after the Seahawks victory. Those obviously 2 top 10 picks in the NFL draft, including one that's top 5. I mean, that's a chance to add 2 very, very good players to this team. I mean, does that excite you guys at all? I mean, do you look at that first round of the draft and then also the second round as a chance to really kind of redirect the course of this team with a talent infusion?
Yeah, I mean, just everything. I'm excited about all of it in terms of just the overall self-scout and going back and evaluating our guys and trying to pinpoint where all these young guys can get better, and getting back some guys like Becton and getting them back involved. And you know, obviously, whether it's free agency or the draft, like, you're always excited about that. But there's so many things that we've got to do aside from those 4 players. Like, those 4 players won't make or break next year. It's going to be a collective effort with regards to coaches, scheme, the players that are here now, and then the players that are incoming later. And it's just like I said, every decision we make, whether it's the draft picks or free agency or scheme, it's going to be with closing this gap. And it's obviously, it's always something that we always look forward to in offset with regard to the off season.
Robert, I get what you're talking about with the progress and looking to the future, but you know, it's a bottom line league. When you see 4-13, does that sting you the way the season went?
Yeah, it's like I said, you know, like, at the end of the day, it's about winning, period. And winning 4 games in this league is not good enough. But at the same time, we all knew that this was going to be a roller coaster of a season, and with the youth movement that we've had, and we all knew that there was going to be some ups and downs, and there were some close games. We beat 2 division winners. We had the Super Bowl champs on the ropes. And we're 1-score game here with Buffalo after losing 48-10 the first time around. We're within a score today. So I think the progress that we've made and the progress that this young group has made, while the 4-win season is not good enough, it's very encouraging to go in the next year, and something that I feel like we can build on. So that way next year in December, we're playing for a chance. We're playing relevant games in December, and that's obviously the ultimate goal and everything that we want to get done. So
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach.
all right, thanks, guys.
Recording stopped.